What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is one of those videos that I looked forward to making. However, the circumstances within which I'm making it make it bitter in a sense. Yes, it's nice to be vindicated and to see that what you've been saying about Xbox and PlayStation and Game Pass for the last few years have actually been true. Maybe not necessarily accurate in terms of figures and numbers, but the general sense and the general sentiment, just common sense stuff, seem to be coming out right now as it's been unveiled with the illegally gathered data from the breach that Insomniac suffered. So that's the context. It's quite the trashy situation. And to be honest, I did not want to make this video, but one of my audience members said, you need to talk about these market factors. And I also think it's important to talk about these market factors. Why? Because consumers are better informed and they're not taken for a ride by a lot of these grifters on the internet who are here to tell you as to why your console is the best console. Ladies and gentlemen, even from the Xbox side, there is a striking fear that kind of went down my spine when I saw the PlayStation leak document, how they said that Xbox's strategy right now is a threat to their business. Those were the words that were used, threat. And it wasn't used once, it was used multiple times because the value proposition that Xbox brings is quite threatening to what it is that PlayStation brings in comparison. And for those of you who know how this works, if PlayStation does not pivot or cannot pivot on time, what's going to happen is the market position and the leadership is going to go to Microsoft. And you do not want that to happen too quickly, or you want for the other market providers to be able to continue to constrain and keep that position, in a sense, fluid, so it can move from one to the other at any given point or in any given area. We know that in the hardware sales, Xbox is no longer, really a big player. However, they're not letting go of it. I've seen a lot of people make this claim that Xbox is going to go third party. You're saying it to soothe yourself. You're better off putting Vicks on your chest if you have a congestion so that can help you, rather than say that. Maybe if that helps you, to sleep better at night, you can keep saying it. But why would they leave the console market when they already have enough funds to be able to take a hit and they know that it continues to pain their customer? Why would they go ahead and walk away, the competitor, sorry. Why would they go ahead and walk away from it? When in reality, the strategy that looked kind of bleak is looking kind of strong right now, because that Xbox Series S that has been being made fun of for the last few years is now starting to look very good, because I see a lot of parents and a lot of people who have multiple family members starting to consider that as some kind of an alternative to the Nintendo Switch, because you can get a cheap console, get a Game Pass subscription, and you don't have to buy any video game for a very long time. And this is where that threat, according to PlayStation's internal documents, come into play. Because what Xbox has been able to pull off with Game Pass, even though it looked really bleak at first, seeing that 50 titles were launched on Game Pass this year as day one games. Day one, 50. Xbox spent $1 billion in acquiring these games and hedging their 29 or more million subscribers who have been able to bring them roughly $3 billion in annual revenue. So without moving a finger much, they can secure an extra $1 billion or $1.5 billion, according to PlayStation's documents, in profits that PlayStation has to account for. So there's a change and a shift in the industry that the grifters, your console warriors who are constantly telling you in their podcasts that everything is fine in PlayStation, there's basically all of this information that you are missing out of because they didn't let a lot of people pay attention. Some of us paid attention. Some of us were looking out and saying, man, what's going on? Now, this is not a matter of where you say all hope is lost. The reality is, like I've said, you don't want that position to go to one party, especially one that has a huge pot like Xbox. You want it to be fluid. So what needs to happen? Well, what needs to happen is that PlayStation members and PlayStation, customers and community members and people who are, affiliated with that platform need to start holding PlayStation to higher accountability as to the services they provide and to the value that it brings. It's a simple formula. This is exactly why Xbox is where it is. They messed up that console generation in the Xbox One days. They basically suffered by all kinds of weird circumstances. And because their feet were held to the fire, they continue to find ways to improve, provide value, and compete. PlayStation, on the other hand, has enjoyed the market position because they were able to gain a lot of favor from a lot of gamers out there. They've been able to influence the press because the press never writes anything negative about them. And so they've basically leveraged that to make themselves seem like a, in quote, premium brand, when in reality they're not. They think they're Apple, but they're not. Nothing like that exists in gaming at all. Gaming is all about value, and a lot of people have access to gaming more than they do have access to the most premium Apple products. So what needs to happen is that same kind of pressure, intensity, heat, expectation needs to be placed on PlayStation by consumers so that they can start to find a way to meet up to the market changes available right now. Because day and date is exactly where it's at, which brings me to the argument that I've been making for how many months now? Yes, many, many months, saying that PlayStation needs to bring its first-party exclusives to PC. What is this? It's a video that I made. Oh my gosh, isn't that crazy? I made this video just recently when the Spider-Man game was about to release, and I said, hey guys, I think Marvel Spider-Man 2 needs to be on PC day one. And many of you said to me, no, go buy a PlayStation console if you need one. Okay. Many of you said, PlayStation is fine. They wouldn't need to pivot their strategy because they make a lot of money. They make a lot of sales. You have to understand that those circumstances are very different. This game, a big mistake, in my opinion. Ooh, the Spider-Man 2 game, the biggest error was to not launch that game cross-gen. You see, marketing is good and can also shoot you in the foot. Why would you leave 140 million consoles on the market for your biggest and single title that you were going to be getting out for the generation for the most part? God of War Ragnarok enjoyed the fact that it had the PlayStation 4 community. Horizon Forbidden West enjoyed the fact that it had the PlayStation community. I strongly believe that PlayStation 4 is not a dead platform. I think the way they make it seem is they want to use the press and they want to use the, the perception, and they want to use the noise to kind of phase out the PlayStation 4 console. But in my opinion, that is a very, very interesting set of players that still exist, that still play games, and still are going to support developers who bring games to them. And I think Sony's PlayStation made a very critical error trying to use this next-gen marketing, because the next-gen marketing has become a wash. The games didn't come fast enough, so we had enough time to look at the hardware. We had enough time to look at the specs. We had enough time to look at performance. And we realized that these hardware, expectations and specs are all just basically fugazi. I mean, did Digital Foundry not eventually go ahead and do an analysis using the Xbox Series X kit and threw, 7900 XTX on it for them to show all the different games and their performances? Did they not find out that the CPU that is available on this particular Series X kit is not up to par with the counterparts that are on the PC market? This is the video right here. They went ahead and tested it out. They tested games like Gotham Knights. They tested games like Starfield when Starfield came out with it. They tested games like Hogwarts Legacy. And they found out that because of the CPU limitation on the Series X, that many of these games have to be locked at 30 FPS for the most part, and you're not going to be able to get the quality that you can get on a PC. So seeing that, a lot of people are now better informed, and I've been trying to inform a lot of people, and are now making their move to the PC platform. What's going on is there are just many factors that don't seem to favor the PlayStation narrative as it has in the past. So now everybody is sitting out there, and Xbox, knowing this, has realized, man, we cannot sell a performing device like a PC for the price that we sell it at. So let's go ahead and meet everybody where they are. So they decided to do that, and they seemingly are making a lot of success from it. Starfield was the proof of concept. And many of you keep saying, Starfield didn't sell anything. See, you can argue me all you want. That's your business. Just know that, like I said, you're better off putting vapor rub on your chest if you have a congestion. Or if it soothes you better, you can keep saying these things that PlayStation is fine, Xbox doesn't do this or that. If that's what helps you, you can keep saying that. But the data and even PlayStation don't agree with you, especially what it is that they've put out there. It's pretty much what it is everybody has been saying for the longest time. And to be honest, if y'all don't focus on PlayStation to give better value, to bring their games to PC so that PC players can help you, kind of keep this competition going, man, it's going to be wild. And I know developing cross-platform is not easy, but for those of you in the PlayStation community, you're starting to see how challenging even the PlayStation studios are from moving out of their comfort zone. With their live service games, the faction that got canceled, put on ice, basically being locked up, won't see the light of day. Maybe it might see the light of day. I don't know. And even for all these studios to dream or think about even doing cross-platform, you have to give it up for, studios under Ubisoft. You have to give it up to studios under Warner Brothers. You have to give it up for studios under, the other companies that do all platforms they want. I mean, I know you made fun of Gotham Knights. You were like, oh, Gotham Knights doesn't look as good as WWE. But now you got to kind of say, you know what? These guys put together a solid game. I already thought that. I mean, I know some of you like lighting and graphics. You think that's what makes superior gameplay. It's your choice. You can hold that perspective. But, in reality, that's not how, the world works. What makes a game is that the game is made. You can write that down. Peace out.